Welcome to the channel, Scott's Garage HTX. Don't forget the HTX. And today I want to fix the check engine light on the R6. It's a code 301, I believe, and that is the intake air temperature sensor. The difficulty is I really don't know where it's at. I've been told it's somewhere on this side of the engine. It's got to be around the intake, right? So I'm hoping I can take these fairings off and get to it relatively simple. Yeah, I know you're probably laughing at me now. Somebody that has an R6 or knows how to work on these things a lot better than I do, probably do this in 10 minutes. Well, not for me. We'll just see how it goes. Okay, I think I've located it. Let me pick you up and show you where I think. I believe we're right there. Looks like that. I don't know if it's going to fix it or I have to turn off the code or not. So, well, let's start it and see. No. Looks like I got to turn that code off. So, I think I'll just take that to the dealer and have them do it. But at least the parts changed and I attempted it. Not much of a video, but at least you know where the air temp sensor is on these bikes now. And that was relatively quick. That was February 11th and now is April 14th. I turned the bike over to my friends at V1 Moto and told them to take their time, kind of go through the bike, and I want to make sure everything's 100% before I get it on the track. As you'll notice, I did change over the wheels and I did do a video on that. I went from white powder coated wheels to these ceramic coated titanium color. And I did do a video on the both plus and minuses of both applications. Check that out if you'd like to. Got SE2 slicks on it. I think that's a 125/70. And in the rear, we have a 180/60. So about pretty standard for the R6 application, if I understand it. Now, I did get the code cleared at the dealership while I was there. So that just kind of leaves a couple things outstanding on this bike. Really one, and that is this rear spring. That's awfully soft for me. I have the new spring. It's actually in, and in May, I'm going to go up and get that put in. I'm also at the same time, and why I'm doing it in May, at the same time, I'm going up there with the Street Fighter, and we're going to do all new shocks and tubes on that from Öhlins. And that's going to be a good video. I hope I can just piece that together real sharply and as we take it off and put it back on. That's going to be pretty cool, I think anyway. So it just leaves a couple things that are on this bike that I still have questions about. And I can go through them. Let me jump on this real quick. And so, if I look at this, the check engine light's gone. And I have an ABS light, which I know why, it's disconnected. I have a fuel light on there. I know that's why, because that's disconnected because of the foam inside the tank. Now, and I have a traction control indicator, and I can go from TCS to 3, and I believe back up to 2 to 1. That's the warm-up mode you just heard. I've already showed you that. Now, what I don't know is this mode is selected, is tied to anything whatsoever on the throttle. Generally, mode A is like a 1-to-1, 10% throttle, 10% hand. B is a little bit more sluggish, where you've got 10% hand and maybe something different on the throttle. And I guess standard somewhere in between. But you can usually go in between a high, medium, and low between each one of those modes, throttle, that is. And I don't see that. And so it makes me question whether or not this mode is actually hooked up to anything on the Tune or Power Commander or whatever. Actually, it's done by KWS, and whether or not that actually is doing anything or is just going through the light. It might be one of those things I just find out. Maybe the first couple laps I experiment and see what I've got on the throttle, and definitely not be going 100% on something like that. It's the same with the brake, the handbrake. The handbrake is not, it's not the same as putting full pressure on your foot here. So I think what I'm going to do with the handbrake, which I've never had experience with, is really try it out in the straights. I'm not going to just go in the corner and say, oh, let's see what it does. Probably not the best thing for me to do, right? Other than that, I think she's ready to go. I can't wait to get it on the track. You guys keep on keeping on. Catch you next time.